Hello Aquarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this tarot reading resonates with you. If there's anything you'd like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading. So try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is the Eight of Pentacles. Very consistent, very diligent work. This is a strong attention to detail. I feel like you've been, I kind of feel like you've had your nose to the grindstone for quite a while here. Yeah, like you've been very focused on the details of something. I wonder if you've been kind of submerged or immersed in this for a long time, and I wonder if it's time to kind of come up for a fresh perspective. Yeah, I'm feeling like we're very, very focused on the details of something, but has other stuff around us changed? Let's put this into some context. Let's see what's going on here with this Eight of Pentacles. And now we kind of have this idea of kind of getting up and looking around, right? Like raising our awareness and trying to look at the bigger picture. It could be, are we missing the woods for the trees, right? That we're focused on these details and we're not seeing the larger context might be different than it was. Three of Cups. Four of Cups, Princess of Pentacles. And yes, this is change. This is the Eon card. This is judgment, rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire, the trial by fire. I think really this is like we have water, earth, and fire, right? Water to fire. It could be that what we're working on right now, once we raise our head and look around the room, we're going to see that, oh, hey, it's quitting time. Or, oh, hey, there's a door that opened, right? We're so busy on these details, trying to get this work completed, trying to produce this, nurture this, grow this thing. We don't realize that there's this kind of flaming door in front of us that's saying, hey, your future is here. You've done enough of that. Go that way, right? But we're kind of focused. We're doing our thing, and we realize, oh, it's 5:30 already. It's quitting time. I didn't even hear the bell ring or whatever. And so I kind of get that vibe with this. But let's do the rest of the cards. We got the World or Universe card. We got the Art or Temperance card. We have the Princess of Cups and the Death card. Another card of change. This is change. This is fundamental, universal change. All of us go through this at every moment. Everything is constantly in flux. The Death card is kind of like, it's that infinite moment between death and birth, or birth and death, if you will. It's that idea that everything is constantly flowing, that our awareness, it feels like things are stopped right now. Right? When you have a moment of silence, it feels like everything's still. Absolutely not. Everything in this room, in me, in you, in the cameras, in the universe is constantly changing. Nothing is ever frozen. It's not like you can just pause the movie, So there's this idea of how long are we going to be toiling away in this workshop trying to produce this thing before we realize that, hey, we've completed this already. There's this doorway that has opened up, and now it's time for you to make that choice to go through it, right? I think this card's also about you preparing for this next level of your life, for this big breakthrough, this big moment, the next big phase for you. Preparing and preparing and preparing and preparing. I feel like now we're waking up to, I think we've prepared enough. We've got this Queen of Wands that kind of wakes up and says, okay, I'm strong enough. I'm awake enough. I'm ready enough to go through that fiery doorway into the future, right? It's really a new reality. It's a new era for you. And I think that you've prepared enough, and it's time to take that next step. Yeah. Let's select the mystery card here, and we're going to use the Smith-Waite deck. And this is going to be one random card that we are going to set aside, and we're going to put Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but of course it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it an interactive exercise in intuition. All right? I think it'll be fun. All right. Let's take a look around the room. Major Arcana. Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana. So going through this doorway here is leading us to the rest of these Major Arcanas and to, of course, the Princess of Cups, which is kind of in this position of what we don't want. And in some ways, this card feels like it might be a fear of like going back to the drawing board or having to start over or having to kind of like reassess the dream almost, you know, or like that the dream has changed, the dream is different, and it's not the same vibe as what we've been kind of anticipating, right? I think this is something that we're going to have to deal with when we get over here in the reading. We've got a little bit of fire. We've got a bit of water here, water here. And we don't have any air. That's the one thing I'm not seeing is any air cards. That's all right. We maybe don't need the air cards right now. Sometimes the air cards are really just about thought, about doubt even, about debate, about having a mixture of opinions or like how we deal with the kind of rational, logical flow of things. And I don't feel like we have that. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and this is really, I think the air energy took place already. You know what I mean? We've already figured out the plan. We've made the decision. I've got to prepare my life. I got to prepare my soul for what comes next. And that's what we've been doing. And doing and doing and doing. Maybe if we had a sword or something here, that would kind of be like that part of our brain that says, hey, wait, what's the timeline here? Haven't we done enough of this? You know, this is as if you are constantly preparing the soil, watering the plants, pruning and trimming and pulling weeds. But it's spring, it's summer, it's fall, it's winter. You never harvested the plant. Maybe you never enjoyed them. You never smelled the flowers. You never looked at them and appreciated their beauty. You never pulled the vegetables off. The tomatoes just kind of fell off and decayed right there while you were tending to the soil and pulling the weeds and all that stuff, right? So I think it's time really to take that step and maybe reap the rewards for all of this work that you've been doing. And we could be talking about something career, job, business related, something personal, private, romantic, family related, friends, whatever this is, creative, spiritual, any of these things, okay? It could be that you've been studying something for so long. Now it's time to make this next step. Take the next, almost the next logical step here is to go out and do it. Yeah. The Four of Cups in the background here. This is the idea, especially combined with the Eight of Pentacles, that we've gotten comfortable right here. That we've settled into this. We've settled into that, the tedious work, the meticulous details, or the study of something, or the preparation for something. And we're comfortable. We like doing that. The idea of having to kind of now wake up and intentionally go through that doorway and start living this reality that we've been preparing for or studying for, it's a hard shift. Going from water to fire, yeah. Because the Four of Cups is very comfortable. And it's kind of like this is a situation we don't want it to change. Maybe we know that the day is coming. Eventually we'll graduate. Eventually, we're going to have to do this thing that we've been preparing for. But we can kind of see that storm is coming in this card. But we want to stay here for as long as we can. Yeah. Some of the other things that are influencing us, first of all, the Princess of Pentacles. This is the infinite future. This is all the possibilities of what you can manifest. You're preparing for something now. When you go through this doorway and you start living this, you're going to have, there's so much more that you're going to gain. There's so much more that you're going to produce. It's an infinite thing. Yeah, you might be going out into this kind of vast, unknown wilderness, but that wilderness has infinite potential for you to manifest your life and what you want in your life. Yeah. So it's kind of like this is what's waiting for you out there. And this is untouched, abundance, untouched resources. Anything you want, you have the materials and the resources to create it. Whatever kind of life you want, you've got all the parts for it out there. It just needs to be put together. Yeah. But it's infinite. This is tremendous resources here. And opposite that, we've got the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is understanding the process of change on the emotional plane. If you really thought about it, you know that this is getting to be a little bit too complacent, a little bit too comfortable, and we're kind of avoiding some sort of peak experience, some sort of, a surge or a rush of adrenaline or whatever it might be. This is something that disrupts this kind of calm comfortability that we have. But this is really what we're after. This is what we want. This is joy. This is celebration. This is abundance. This is the feeling that goes with it. This is understanding how to, I got hair in my mouth, understanding how to create those peak experiences. You know what kind of feeling tone your life will have, and you know how to produce those, right? You have all the raw materials to produce this kind of love, excitement, celebration, almost a euphoria. So there's really nothing stopping you from this big, maybe just because it's a big change, because we're going from water to fire. We're going from just kind of maybe some solitude, maybe some just study, it's calm, it's comfortable, into this just now active, kind of crazy life. You have to go out and do this thing, and maybe it's really going to be a 180, a complete shift from that water to that fire energy. And that's always a difficult shift, even though it's going to be better for you, it's going to feel good, you're going to create and manifest everything that you want, but it's still making that shift it's kind of scary, right? I mean, it's a crazy change. It's a crazy change. We're going to go the path of the serpent now. And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription if you haven't subscribed yet. Please do. It's totally free. It helps out the channel. I appreciate that. We're almost at 200K. Final push into 200K, maybe the next couple weeks even. And it's because of all of you, and I really do appreciate that. The World or Universe card. This is kind of maybe the way we're feeling now, right? I kind of let's say you're on a sports team. Let's say this is the Super Bowl, right? You've been preparing and training all year, all season, in the off season, whatever you've been preparing for this. But this is the big day. This is the big game. It's different than all the other games, right? This is the big one. And this is kind of, can we just go back to the regular season and just practice and do that? Yeah, that's comfortable here. This is like the huge deal. Because once you get in that stadium, it feels like the universe, right? It feels like you're kind of alone out here in this vast, stadium of life. And it's maybe like, well, now we got to do it for real. This is the one that matters, I don't know if that's really kind of how the Super Bowl works or whatever, but it feels like that's what's going on here. That this is like, now it's really showtime. Now you're playing for keeps, right? Now, the risks and the rewards are real. Maybe back here, this was practice, this was training, this was study. Now it's the real deal. Yeah. And maybe you're feeling a little bit, it's kind of like that feeling when we shrink and we get really, really small and the universe gets really, 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 really big. And it's kind of like, uh-oh, you know. I like what we see next. Let's look at this card that we've got next here. This is the Art or Temperance card. Now, this card makes me think, and I'm getting this image of you wearing like 2 different color socks, you know. So I feel like you have these kind of 2 sides of your personality. I feel like one is very professional or very like, even maybe it's just like a white sock, and then the other sock is like super colorful, super creative. And I don't know, maybe you've even for Halloween or something, you've done some sort of makeup where you've like separated yourself into two beings, you know, like human on one side and like zombie on the other or something, right? My daughter's really into zombies. She's almost 4. She loves zombies. Anyway, the Art or Temperance card, though, I feel like this is what we're trying to do is make this shift from the water to the fire. And we know that it's going to be a challenge out here in this environment. To me, this is the card that says it's going to be real hot in the kitchen. And this card is in the position of your environment. So it's just like, it's going to be challenging. Maybe you're in culinary school. And this is you getting an actual job on the line, doing it in the kitchen. Maybe literally in the kitchen, yeah. Interesting, the socks thing. I'm feeling like there are these kind of these two sides of you, and I don't know if it literally with the socks. If you like to wear 2 different socks, maybe to express that duality. Yeah, interesting if that's true for you. So stepping through this doorway, it's a trial by fire, and here's that trial by fire. This is you in the kitchen, doing this grueling work, and there's no other way around it. This is the inevitable flow of this energy. Now, Spirit's showing me hands that are kind of, I don't know if you've got a burn on your hand, a scar of some kind, or maybe it's a birthmark. I kind of feel like it's burns, and maybe it's kind of representing the battle scars of being in the kitchen, right? You just you touch the oven or something, you touch the stove, you get burned. And maybe that's part of the symbolism here too. But I'm seeing the hands, with some burn marks on them. That you are going to get a little bit bruised and scratched and scraped up. This is we're dealing with fire. We're cooking with gas after all here, right? So there is going to be some of that, and I think that this is part of what you're supposed to be preparing for. The fact that it's not going to be easy. That's why you train and study, so that you can have the best chance of succeeding in this. This is not the guarantee of success. This is saying that it's time to make this really big change in your life and get out there, get into the kitchen and start doing it. And if you apply yourself and you adapt to the situation, you're going to be successful. I mean, you've got the World card here anyway, and you've got this Princess of Pentacles. It's kind of saying that, the world is out there for you to make of it what you want. There's nothing holding you back from manifesting exactly the kind of reality, the kind of world that you want. You're creating your own universe here, okay? Creating your own universe. Did you get stuck in an elevator or something? Spirit showing me someone that's like pushing the elevator button real fast and trying to open the doors. I don't know if you got stuck. I didn't mean to laugh. I imagine that's probably a scary thing. I feel like you were stuck in an elevator for, I don't think it was for a long time, but I think it kind of freaked you out for a moment, and then the doors opened a few seconds later. But it was enough to really give you that like, oh crud kind of moment. I don't know if that happened to you. I don't know if you were in a hotel office building or something, but I feel like you kind of got stuck for a moment. Yeah. These details come in. I'm not sure how they really connect. Sometimes the metaphor is obvious, other times not so much. Other times it's just meant as a validation or confirmation or a synchronicity for some of you. All right? If it's not meant for you, don't worry about it. Leave it for the next person. Okay? We've got the Princess of Cups here, and I think this is the difficulty, and this is you remembering that this is all your dream. This is all something that you've imagined and created and set up for yourself. When you're in here in the kitchen and your feet hurt and you're sweating and you're sore and it feels miserable, remember that this is what you wanted, right? Remember that this is your dream. This is what, Spirit has led you to. And so the Princess of Cups is, this is us manifesting that dream. Yeah. And the difficult thing is to realize that it's almost like you're thinking, God, I wanted this. This feels miserable. This is what I wanted. But again, there's no air energy here. So I feel like we're not really questioning this. We're just remembering. We're using it as like a mantra even to get us through the difficult days. This is what I wanted. This is leading to my best life. I'm creating my world, my universe. And also, look for the confirmations. Look for those synchronicities in the world around you, because Spirit is sending you little validations, right? Little omens around you that are just kind of like a little smile somewhere in the environment. That's just meant to say, this is what you wanted, and this is where we are. Embrace it, right? Because what we know via this Death card is that nothing stays the same. You've been in this situation long enough. You've been preparing or studying long enough. And it's now time to make that shift, make this transition, to change, to let this situation evolve. And then when you're here, and it's grueling, and it's miserable, and you just think, I can't peel another potato, remember that situation is going to change too. That this isn't meant to be forever. That the day will end, the shift will end, but this period of time will end too, and the evolution will continue. I'm also getting a strong R name for someone. It sounds like Runar. I don't know if that's a name. Runar something. I don't know if that's you or if that's somebody associated with what you're doing, if that's the name of something. I don't know if maybe it's a different language. I'm not sure. Runar, it's what it sounds like to me. Back to the Death card. This is unstoppable, right? And we know that. Things are never going to stay the same. Sometimes it may feel like things are lasting forever, right? Sometimes things go by really, really fast. I think with all this preparation, maybe this was school, maybe this was your study or training, maybe it felt like that went by quick. And then now it's suddenly like, oh, wow, now I'm done. I've got to go now. It feels like like this was boot camp and it happened. Basic training went by real quick. Now you've got to go into the kitchen here. Okay. Maybe it is something military related. I feel like you've got military people in your family. I don't know if that's what you're doing or if that has any bearing on this, but you can use that as kind of an analogy for what you're going through, if it's not literal, right? Nothing is going to stay the same. Nothing is meant to, right? The Death card doesn't have to be a scary card. If we harmonize with change, if we recognize it, if we go with the flow, then we are co-creators of the universe and not victims of change, victims of the universe. No, we want to be co-creators. Yeah. So we've got to harmonize with this process of change. We've got to get to know this energy. Yeah. Let's get to know that mystery card. Yeah. Let's see what that's all about. Thank you, Mr. Dow. Oh, let's see. I'm wondering if we need a little bit of air. Yeah? I wonder if we need a little bit of... Also, who's the one that's always whistling? Is that you? I kind of think it's you. I kind of think it's something, or maybe it's humming or something. I feel like you get immersed in this kind of Eight of Pentacles stuff, and you get into this rhythm, and it's just like you start humming or whistling or something. And I think that's like how people around you kind of know that you're like you're really focused. And like people might try to ask you a question, but you don't hear them because you're just kind of in your zone doing your thing, whistling away. All right, is that you? I feel like it's you. Maybe. If you have a prediction for this card, put it down in the comments. Let's see what we have. Well, Knight of Wands. Fire, right? More fire. This really is a card that says you've got to trust the horse, right? And the horse, it's kind of this harmony between yourself and the flow of things, the unconscious kind of movement. It's almost trusting your body, trusting, just trusting the natural kind of instincts here. Go through this doorway, and if you're at odds with yourself, if you want to go one way, the horse wants to go the other way, it's going to be a rough ride. But if we can remain in harmony, if we can be friends with our horse, then it'll be a smooth ride. Does that make sense? And really, it's different parts of ourselves. We can't be at odds with ourselves. And I think that's what this situation is. There's no air energy here, like I said. I don't feel like we're at odds with ourselves. I don't think there's anything dividing us. If anything, this Art or Temperance card shows that we're integrated. Yeah. That the horse and the rider are acting as one. That all of your energy is acting as one energy. And I think you are galloping boldly into that Eon card, into the next era of your life. And I think it's going to be really, really exciting. Really, really amazing. Yeah. And we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, click on the link up here in the corner, or there's one down below in the video description. New readings for Aquarius every Thursday and Sunday, but I'm here every day. Just come on back. See me tomorrow. Okay? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. And leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know what your kitchen is. Yeah. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.